When I met Doug, Doug was flying a sign on Rock Boulevard in Reno, Nevada,
Yep.
and wanted to get back to Champaign, Illinois. So I loaded up the car and I put their car in the trailer and we
hauled it back here.
Hauled you guys all the way back. And since that was back in February, and now we're into November. So it's been quite some time.
Yes.
And, I got lots of questions for you guys, but the first one, I guess, is how are you and how have things been since everyone else has seen you?
Not good. I've had Doug in and out of the hospital numerous times, different hospitals. I keep getting different diagnoses. So our goal right now is to get him to the Mayo Clinic
and get diagnosed
and find out for sure what's wrong with him.
I've had seven TIAs and now 4 mini strokes since we've last talked.
And when I saw you, you had already had 5.
I've had a total of 7. I had 2 more TIAs since then, but I've had 4 minor strokes since then that have affected me greatly.
As you can tell.
So with your stroke count now is in double digits.
Yes. Yes, my stroke count is in now.
Well, the ITAs are the actual full-blown strokes.
No.
No, okay.
It's the ITAs.
But they all lead up to
strokes.
Sooner or later, the doctors have told me that I have a major stroke coming on. Mm-hmm. And it scared me. I'll be honest with you, it scared me. Because I've always been self-reliant. I'm usually the one that just help people. And it's gotten to the point of I can't help myself no more. I have to have for help.
But you got help.
Yeah, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have made it last year. The 29th of August, I was lucky enough to celebrate our 28th anniversary. And she put up with me for 28 years, and the last year has been the hardest for us.
So I got to ask you then, Mel, if you had 28 more years that were just like this year, would you still be here?
With him?
Yep.
Or on this earth?
Just with him. Would you still?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I already knew the answer.
Well, I'll put it this way, Nate. When we first got married, I told him before I even would say I do that I don't believe in divorces.
How she put up with me.
His foot goes up the butt a lot.
She keeps me in line because I would have lost it.
Yeah.
I would have. I'll admit I would have lost it.
Well, I'm really glad that overall, you're still here. It sucks that you don't even have a legitimate prognosis right now, right?
No, I don't. No. I don't have.
I've been everything from migraines to strokes to... Oh, the latest one was really funny. They seem to think he's crazy.
They think it's all hypochondria. And everything.
And it's not.
But that's after you've already been this far and everybody else has said that they were legitimate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now you're at a point in the double digits of, now he's crazy.
Yeah.
Now this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That's what's the last
what? If it was just the first one and they said, it's all in your head, if I were in your shoes, I might even question myself.
Yeah.
But when you're this far, you're like, no.
No.
When you're driving along and all of a sudden your vision goes out on you and your speech starts slurring like you're talking to a drunk man and everything else. And the left side of your body goes numb to where you can't feel anything.
That's not
to where you take a straight pin and stick it in your arm and you can't feel it. That's not hypochondria.
I literally pinched his shoulder the other day at the hospital so hard I left a bruise on it. He couldn't feel
Oh, yeah.
it.
Just,
I mean, literally.
You got a bruise from it?
Yeah,
though?
Oh, yeah.
me pinching him.
yeah, I
And
got
he
a
couldn't
good old
feel it.
bruise up here.
But yeah, it's all in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not because.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No, no.
Because
I-
if that was the case, he would have been going through this all of his life. This just started in the last year.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And the doctors there in Joplin seem to think he's got migraines, but they actually have stroke symptoms. And I would agree with that one more than the one I got yesterday,
Yeah. Yeah.
to be honest with you.
And all this started before I met you, but not
Yeah.
very long before.
Not very,
you.
very long. This started September 8th of last year.
Okay.
We were traveling because I was a truck driver for 40 years. And we wanted to go back. You drive a vehicle that's 13 feet high and 73 feet long, you can't get into many spots. So when I retired from truck driving, I had a whole bunch of bucket list. My
I wanna
bucket
go
list
there.
is
I wanna go
to go see all this, go see stuff that I couldn't see. September 8th, we were in Farmer City, Illinois, 27 miles north of Champaign. And I woke up and I had no feeling whatsoever in my left leg or my left side.
And that time I did poke him with a pin. But
Yeah.
he didn't feel it.
She asked me, she says, well, what are we going to do? I says, well, there's a hell of a hospital in Champaign Carly Foundation and Urbana. We went to the emergency room there. I wasn't in the emergency room more than 45 minutes. And they came back and told me that I had to have emergency back surgery because my L5 to my L2 in my back had slipped and had herniated, and I needed an emergency back surgery or I was going to be paralyzed. Spent from the 9th of September to the 26th of September in the hospital there at Carly's, where I was in talking, the doctors were in talking to me about the surgery and everything else. And I flatlined on them. I went into full cardiac arrest while the doctor was standing in there and everything else.
That was his heart attack.
I code blued on him and did a full cardiac arrest on him. They brought me back and everything, did the operation and everything else. And
2 days later. No, it was 2 days after the surgery that you had your heart attack.
yeah, the operation was on the 17th. I had the heart attack on the 18th.
No, 19.
19th, yeah, 19th.
He can't hardly
And
remember anything.
then we recovered. I went back down to Cleveland, Tennessee, where my wife was and my daughter. We weren't there more than a week.
Doug, I didn't even.
And
think
when
of
I
that.
had my first TIA stroke symptoms. Since then, I have been in 6 different hospitals, and they've all diagnosed 5 of them right out of the emergency room have declared that yes, I was having stroke symptoms and everything else. Since then, I have lost 30% of my strength on my left side, about 15% on my right side. I can no longer walk independently.
cane.
I have to have a cane or a walker doing any distance walking. I was going to go to work off and on to try to support us and everything else back in Tennessee where my daughter, but with my health,
Okay.
I can't work.
Yeah.
I can't.
I mean,
I
you can
wish I
barely
could.
talk, as you can hear.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
This is from the
Because-
stroke.
Yeah, I can't work. I wish I could because
And
I
unfortunately,
hate having to ask for help.
I've always been a stay-at-home mom or wife.
So let's get into the homeless side of things. And when did you guys become homeless?
What happened is my father passed away August 21st of 2022. We were living with my father.
Helping take care of him.
I am
'cause he was
taking care of my father because he was 88 years old.
No.
And he had onsetting of dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff. I was the one taking care of my father for the last couple of years of his life and stuff when we were living in his house. By his will and my mother's will, their house that they were living in was supposed to be sold and split 3 ways. Well, a year and a half later, after my father passed away, they finally settled the house. We were going to get an RV for a while and then get a place and stay and then travel and everything. I ended up getting $13,000.
And it was gone.
It was gone because
Was it 13,000 or 1,300?
$13,000.
13,000.
And
But still, it was.
it went because my daughter lived in Tennessee and she has three sons. And well, she screamed, "Dad, we need help." And well, I went to help my daughter out and I put instead of taking care of us, I took care of my daughter, which I should not have done because she destroyed everything. She's taken everything
You know,
that I've had.
she messaged me a while back when I first was taking you guys back. And if I remember correctly, she was telling me in other words, that I shouldn't help you guys.
Yeah,
She said you guys are liars and this and that and
It's funny,
a whole
she-
bunch of stuff.
She's
And
the
then I
one that
shouldn't
was
even-
diagnosed as a pathological liar. And she's the one that likes to use people. And
yeah, she's. I've
everything
gone
she told you
through.
is her.
I put her and her boyfriend up
And
in Augusta, Georgia.
son.
It cost me in an extended stay. It cost me $8,000 to put her up for an extended stay for 6 months. As stuff.
And they didn't even stay there the whole time.
Yeah, they didn't even stay there the whole time. They checked out and everything.
And came back there.
They came back, and she's used me in every way that
And I
she
tried
can.
to tell him
And my wife was trying to tell me she did, and
she won't anymore.
I was blind at it until I finally realized, hey, when she's called certain people and asking stuff, and that
She called a friend of ours wife that we don't even have her number and pretended to be me asking for money. One,
yeah,
I don't speak Spanish, which is all the lady speaks.
yeah.
2, I don't have her number. And 3, if I needed help, I would go to Johnny, not her.
Not her husband, yeah.
Not
God, her
his,
husband.
his
Yeah,
wife.
but she is.
And then she got a hold of
used.
you.
So
I
you
found out-
finally got the chunk of change that you'd been waiting on,
Yeah,
and your situation hasn't changed at all because you spent everything you had
yeah, taking
helping
care
out
of
your
her,
daughter.
helping her out, and everything else. When, if I would have listened to Melanie
years ago.
years ago, I'd have everything we need. But-
And that's it's both your guys' daughters.
Yes,
so-
it's
yeah,
both of our
yeah,
daughters.
it's hard to, yeah.
It's legally ours.
so-
Well, not legally, but biologically, she's ours.
Not legally, but biologically. If I had a choice.
Legally, well,
If I had a choice, she wouldn't be mine at all.
man,
But I won't give up my grandsons either.
yeah.
They did nothing wrong.
They don't
I
deserve
will
anything.
still buy for them. I will still do for them. But her,
Yeah, they're mother enough.
I wouldn't give
But
her a
it's-
piece of
it's-
paper to wipe her butt with.
It's just, I can't help it no more because I've been helping her,
Over
and by
us.
helping her,
He screwed up.
my health has gone down. I've checked myself out of hospitals that were willing to help because she said, I need, well,
That's why
I've
we
checked
can't go
myself.
back to Carly's.
I checked myself out of hospitals to go help her.
Well, you check
to find
yourself out.
out.
They don't want you back in.
I couldn't, I wasn't, she did need help. She just was, she wanted us to use us for the money. For the money that mom and dad had.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
She has told me this before. I
But
told her, I said, I gave you what you're getting. I
But
brought
that's-
you into this world without aborting you.
That's why
So now she's focused
If-
on her dad owes her.
if I wanted to help her, I would be in a better car. My car right now has 249,000 miles on it.
And when we got your car serviced and took it in and everything,
Yeah,
it had 176,000.
170,000. Yeah,
We got it serviced before I took you guys back.
yeah,
And that was in February.
yeah,
And we are in November.
yeah.
That
I
was
just
from
got
me
it.
bouncing back and forth between Illinois and I don't know where she was because she'd say she needed us. And
Help.
the only reason she needed us, she knew we had money. When he gets his check at the end of the month, got us right on the phone.
Yeah.
I need this, Daddy. I need that. Well, Daddy's right here.
Yeah,
And
Not
I'm to the
anymore.
point of he needs to decide.
yeah.
Me or her.
I did.
Because
Yeah,
I
did.
can't do it no more.
Yeah,
I can't deal with both of them. My
I can't
anxiety,
take care of her.
my nerves, they won't handle him and her both.
Yeah, I cannot.
It's too much on me.
I'm at an age where I need to take care of myself,
Yeah.
so I can be able to take care of my wife.
Yes. Yes.
I've
'cause,
got
she's
to
doing
take care
everything
of her.
for you.
She's
You
taking
guys
care
gotta
of
take
me.
care
I
of
got to
each other.
take care of her,
Yeah.
and I would have the things that I needed now if I wouldn't have taken care of her. And now I regret what I did because I would have what I did. I would not be.
We wouldn't be wanting right now. We wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be in this. I
We
would not be.
have our RV.
I would have an
We would
RV.
have a car that runs.
I would have a
properly.
place, and
Well, maybe not a place because his income won't cover that.
yeah, I
We don't
did.
make enough in retirement to cover that. Now, if we had an RV, we could put it in like a park, and
Yeah, and I could cover
can
the
cover
month of
that.
rent and stuff because I don't know how much longer my car's gonna last, and if I lose that car,
Yeah. So the whole time you guys have been homeless, you've been living out of your car.
Yeah.
yes,
You've never been homeless without the car.
No.
So you've been living in
No.
your car.
We've
if
been
that
living
car
in the
goes
car.
out right now,
that car.
You're
If that
stuck.
car goes out right now,
because there's no way he can hold a backpack
I can't. I
on
couldn't.
his
I
back
couldn't
to
do
do
it.
it.
you guys and you would just be. You'd be stuck in one town and
And
you're moving
I'd
spot
be-
to spot every time they kick you out or do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would not be able to survive. I wouldn't
He
be.
wouldn't. I could. He could.
I couldn't. I could.
His health, there ain't no way I can have it without the car.
Yeah.
Because after his back surgery, winter kills him. And because I broke my shoulder a couple of years before Dad passed, winter's hurt me.
Yeah.
Even.
Without my car, I would be.
He'd be in trouble. Big trouble.
I shit my leg. I'd be up a creek without a paddle. I'd be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, and I would be.
And the sad part about it is we're kind of there anyway because of her.
Yeah.
So you guys, you mentioned to me if I could help you guys and help you guys get a GoFundMe started because you just don't know how.
No, I
No.
That and I mean that's all it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after talking with you a little bit more now, it sounds like the best thing to do is if I start one, share it,
Yeah.
and then we have a goal to
Yes.
get you something.
And we
Yeah,
talked about that.
my goal is
It's best
I don't want a whole bunch of money or anything else. I just want
an
enough
RV,
to
a
where
car that works
I
for
can
us.
get a
And take
used
care of our
RV
fleet.
and a vehicle, and that's it. I don't want.
I don't need.
I don't need a whole bunch. I just need
I
a
don't need to
roof
be
over our
around.
head It's so transportation.
So what I could see being possible, and RVs aren't cheap because
No, they're not.
you know, especially if you want to park it in a park, you need something that's at least 15 years or newer. A lot of them aren't
Oh,
going to
yeah.
let you apart an old one.
Yeah, 15 or
Some of them are 10 years or
Yeah,
newer.
exactly.
Yeah.
And to get something 10 years or newer,
That's expensive.
it's expensive. And
Yeah.
beyond, I'm dead honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could even raise enough to do that.
Yeah.
But we could set a goal for say 20,000
Yeah.
and look for a used RV that's
No.
under 20,000
No.
and maybe get you into something used.
I can find them down in the south, in the southern
They're
part of the
actually
United
pretty
States.
cheap back
I can find them.
2, 3
Real cheap.
years old, they're
Well,
like
the way that this
18
would
to
work
20,000.
is I'll raise the funds, and if the funds get to the goal, when the goal happens, I'll go wherever there is
Yeah.
one that is for sale for that much and deliver it to you guys
best-
myself. And at that point, you
We could handle ourselves. We could take it up. We could take over. We could handle. We could take control and get going. I would have a place, a base.
And you have 1,000 a month, so
Yes.
you'd be able to scoot around or park it.
Yeah.
And you have that money coming
Yeah.
in is your responsibility to take care
Yeah,
of your own things
oh yeah.
you need to do.
I would not. I would not.
Yeah.
I just need help to
Getting
get it,
the RV.
and then after that, I don't need.
Because if you have an RV, do you even need a car? Because you didn't. What do you do with the car?
Well-
You need a really big RV to be able to haul a car behind
Yeah.
it. Now we're getting into $50,000, $60,000, $70,000
No,
for an
no,
RV to be able to
no.
haul a car behind.
No,
No.
not.
If you get an RV that's small enough and capable and just does exactly what you two need and her,
True.
you don't really need a car unless you had somewhere to park.
Yeah,
and leave
yeah.
it. And
No,
that could
I
end up
wouldn't-
just being more
I
trouble
wouldn't need-
anyway.
Yeah. So,
Well, see, the reason you need a car is because a lot of your parks, they're stationary. You have to stay there. And you can't move your RV
Yeah, but
all the
so-
time. So you're still gonna need a vehicle to go into town and get your groceries.
yeah,
But
but
how
we could
would
use
you
it on
haul the car around with the RV?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
And you guys, honestly, it's not like both one of you could drive one and one drive the other.
No.
I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
No.
The best
No, I've had that
I've-
scare already.
Yeah.
I've when we were looking before we found the amount of what it was actually going to be, I've been looking at RVs, used RVs, and everything else. The cheapest ones and the best ones that I have found, that I get bored back then. Cruise America.
Oh, the used ones from Cruise America?
Yeah.
Cruise America's has them. They run anywhere from, depending how old, they have 2020s right now. The Thor
How much?
300. They're the 30 footers.
But how much money are they?
They're around about. They're starting at 25,000. You can get you can get a 2015 anywhere from 17.5 to 21, depending on what you wanted in it and everything else.
Now, and you used to be a biker, right?
Yes.
I mean, you rode bikes forever.
Oh yes.
I mean, I don't think I could really see you cruising around on a little pink moped with streamers and everything on
No,
it,
we
hanging
have
off the back.
actually thought about getting a trike.
A trike.
A trike.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would
but
be-
that's
that's still a
dream.
vehicle. And that, I mean, but that would be a lot easier to haul than a
No.
big size
Yeah.
car.
Yeah. And that would be cheaper on gas around town.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we had originally thought about doing, getting us an RV and a trike. That way around town, it's cheap on gas and stuff.
And I can still haul her around.
And still haul us around.
Yeah.
And it'll have, the little side bags for our
So, and
groceries.
you guys are like the only ones that I've helped that say I want an RV, and I actually am behind it because I know you were a truck driver,
Yeah.
and you get what it's like being on the road.
Oh, yeah.
And you know the expenses
We've
that come
got
with
that
living on the
fever. I
road.
don't think it's ever going to leave us,
You
Nate.
want because you're gonna travel. You don't
Yeah.
want to sit in one place too long.
No, I don't.
A lot of people
don't.
say, I want an RV just because that's going to fix everything because I can't get into a home. But an RV has plumbing, electrical, and maintenance, and everything.
Yeah,
in a
I can
vehicle
handle
has
that.
maintenance.
I can take care of that.
All that stuff
And,
adds up real fast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but I can
see,
take care of
you
all
can
that.
work on them.
I know how to work on them. My dad was a carpenter. I've been a truck driver for 40
He
years.
knows how to.
I know how to work. I know how to work on.
It'll take you some time.
It'll
more
take
so than
time.
it used to.
Yeah.
But you can
Yeah.
still.
But I
the
can.
knowledge.
I could do 90% of the maintenance. I could do myself.
Yeah.
Engine work and stuff.
And
I
that's
can
again
do.
that's the only reason why I'm even behind this thing is because you guys can handle it and you know what it takes. Most people think getting an RV when
Is
you
the answer
is the answer. To
Really,
everything.
if they
And then
don't
you
know
go, "Where are
nothing
you gonna
about
park
them,
it?"
no,
I
it's
have some
nothing.
friends that live in their RV and they're in a big Dolphin triple axle one,
Yeah.
and it's a big one and
costs
it's
them more.
old. And that we could only find one place that would take them, and we
Yeah.
got them into Boomtown over in Reno.
Oh, I know
And
where
now
that's
they
at.
want, and now it's $950 a month plus the utilities,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even run very good. So they're worried as hell if they got to move it anywhere. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to work on it themselves.
Yeah.
So they paint it. They have told me many times if anybody ever wants to get an RV, we will happily advise them not to. Just tell us. We'll
Yeah.
talk to them. We will let them know.
Well,
But
I'll
it's the
tell 'em
worst thing
differently.
I could recommend. But for you guys, I think it's a little bit different because you understand all of that. I mean, you're a
Oh, yeah.
driver for 40 years. So
Oh yeah, I drove
you
for
get
40
it.
years.
I mean,
If-
you could stay, you could travel. And
Oh
stay
yeah,
at
I
truck
could.
stops.
Oh yeah, I know.
When
I know.
it opens up more than just truck stops. We could stay at RV places. We could stay
I
at
know,
campsites.
but I know where across the country.
We could.
I know the distances. I know what is there before I get there. I know when I get where to go for certain things that I need and everything. To where if I had the money, and I don't have the money because right now they're going for about $40,000. It's I would buy an old FedEx ground truck.
Yeah.
Because they have the
And convert
102-inch sleepers on them and everything else in the box that I would convert and everything else. But now I can't do that.
Now we have to have
I
one
phys-
that's already.
And you
I'd
still
to,
have your Class A, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes, I still have a
We'll
Class
never
A.
let that go.
No,
We've talked about it, but in the long run, it actually helps out,
it helps
especially
out
at the
more.
truck stops. We could get showers. The truck stops. We could go into the
Lounges
TV
and everything
the
else.
lounges
I can get
and
into the
everything.
truck stop areas where the general public can't get into.
We get free
because
coffee.
I have the CDL license.
Yeah.
That CDL license does too. And that's another thing. We got to go to Vegas in January and
Yeah.
December and renew my license.
Yeah, his license is up now.
Right,
Well, I know we told you that last time when we found out, but at the 31st of this December of this year,
Yeah.
his
Yeah, I
license
have
is
to.
way
So
up.
we're going to
I've got to
Vegas
come up with
Oh,
next
okay.
year,
that.
next
Okay.
month, and take care of my license and everything else,
Yeah.
and renew it and everything. But I know the road. I've lived on the road for 40 years.
And I was right there beside him, so I know it just as well as he does.
Yeah.
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 You know?
I know how far it is. I know different routes to take to get around, and I just need help. And it's hard to ask for it because
We don't like doing that. It's hard for us.
Yeah.
It really is.
it's hard to swallow your pride. But sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
And you have to ask for help. And I've gotten to the point to where I've tried, and all I'm doing is getting worse. To where now I have to reach out and ask for help. And that hurts.
Knows when he gets upset, it's harder for him to talk.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Well, we're gonna do what we can and see where it goes. And
Yeah.
I can't make any promises, but we're gonna see. It's
We'll
gonna
try.
take some time.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It'll
It
take
takes
some
time.
time. But
Nothing happens
Hopefully by
overnight.
then I could get him in the Mayo Clinic and find a diagnosis for us.
well, and if you guys are in Arizona, it'll be a lot easier for me to get that thing to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Well, if I could get him in.
I
That's
can't.
something else
Well,
I've got to do Monday. I've got to call the clinic, the Mayo
And set up
clinics,
an
and set
appointment.
up for him to be able to get in because it could take weeks or months to get
So
him
right
in.
now, you guys are traveling cross country, and we met in the middle.
Yep.
Yes.
We're in Wyoming,
Yep.
and you guys are gonna get to the Mayo Clinic
Yes.
I'm
Down
headed
in
down
Phoenix.
south
in
from here.
Arizona.
Yeah. We're hitting Interstate 25 and we're going south.
Yep. We've kept in touch with you. I know.
Oh, yeah.
No,
The
they
viewers
haven't
don't know,
seen, but
but-
I know you have kept in touch. We've kept in touch with you while we've been gone. And,
And occasionally, you guys tell me something that you really need,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then I order it to a Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Pick it up.
Yeah. I mean,
The one time I surprised you with that cot.
yeah, the cot. You got the
That
cot.
was class.
And,
Yeah.
I love
and the other week, I went
Yeah.
out to change the brakes on the car. I jacked up the car with that little scissor jack, and the car slipped and it bent the jack. And I was in a position where
I couldn't.
I couldn't do anything.
Heck,
And
we
I had to call
walk
you,
to
and
the shed
you were kind enough to.
break because our daughter felt it was more important to get her hair dyed than help her mom
Yeah.
and dad that were broke down in a Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys don't ask for a lot, and it'll
try
go.
not
You'll go months before you. Hey, we really could use
Oh, yeah.
this. Could you please? And I do what I can every time.
Yeah.
You know,
You do.
because you
And
really
you've
don't
come
ask
through
for a
for us
lot.
every time.
These items are like $20 and $30 that they end up needing, and that's really not that much.
Yeah.
You don't call me and say, "Hey, we need an."
We need groceries every week.
I need
No,
50
it's like
grand. You don't do
it's-
anything like that.
It's when I am down against a rock and a hard spot that I have to reach out, and it's hard for me to have to reach out.
There was even once I had to reach out to Nate when he was in Paducah, Kentucky at the hospital. I couldn't fly there. It's illegal to fly sign there. And Nate actually bought food. I picked it up at Arby's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember that.
Well, I mean, they weren't they wouldn't give you food inside the
Yeah,
hospital.
that would, yeah,
no,
they
they
wouldn't
wouldn't
help.
for you
They
there.
wouldn't help.
Harley's did.
So you were just sitting in the car with her,
Yep.
and it was like, man, you've been in there, and you said you hadn't eaten in like over a day or something like that.
Yeah.
It's been 2 days, actually. I told you a day, but it'd been two.
Uh-huh.
I kind of
Well,
want you to feel real bad.
well, either way, I had to make sure you had
Yeah.
something, and it just the hard part is doing this stuff from miles away.
Yeah.
I mean, thousands of miles.
Yeah,
I wish I could just be there to
Yeah.
do it.
yeah, I am.
You know?
I got dinner that night. You sent so much food. I had extra for the next day. Well, that morning I went up to see Doug, and I come back and all my Arby's was
somebody
gone.
had breakfast.
I'm talking 2 or 3 sandwiches and the rest of the curly fries. She ate it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds about right. She looks like she just ate something like that right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
I'm over here
Well,
sleeping.
you can definitely tell she's healthy, though.
Yeah.
Taking care
No,
of.
Yeah.
she's happy. She was, it's so funny how happy she was to see me. She
Oh, yeah,
in bed with me
Oh.
so fast last
We-
night.
I
didn't
hope
tell
you
her.
got it on your chest cam.
No, I didn't. I didn't
Ah.
get it, but I took a picture and sent it to my girlfriend because I just thought it was so cute.
Yeah,
She was
Because
so
my
happy.
dog doesn't
to
even
see
do that
you.
with me anymore. He's so old, he just doesn't care, you know.
She
But
was
when he
so
a pup,
happy to see you.
Yeah.
It's like I say, we put you on speaker so she don't ever forget your voice. Because, like
Yeah.
you said, we're like an extended family.
Yeah, yeah.
And when she seen Nate, it was
Yeah.
priceless. I wish I would have been videotaping it.
we didn't tell her that you were there.
Yeah, we
meeting
didn't
you.
tell her. You
Well,
were
we
a
told her
surprise.
where she was going to see an old friend.
Yeah.
Stuff. We didn't tell her who it was. And we told her she's going to see an old friend.
Yep.
Stuff. And yeah, when she seen you, she went.
You went nuts.
She went nuts. I mean, it's
She
been
loves her nickname.
the last time she saw you was The 12th of February.
Where you dropped
when you
us
dropped
off.
us off
Yeah.
in Champaign.
Yeah.
Which was a
Champaign.
sad moment.
Yeah.
None of us were happy.
Yeah, none of it were happy, but we had to do it. It had to be done because I had to go to the hospital.
And
And
Yeah.
what? So hold on. Let's backpedal
Okay.
a little bit because
Okay.
the whole reason you wanted to get to Champaign was to be able to get the help you needed at a hospital there that you knew was really good, that had
Yeah.
been good to you before, and then you went there, and what happened?
They were willing to take care of me. They were taking care of me and everything else. Catherine calls.
And he checked himself out.
I checked myself out of the hospital to go
Because
take care of my daughter.
She called just following the pictures, sir. And he falls
yeah.
for it every time.
I don't know her. I don't want to say anything bad about her, but one thing I can say is if you're getting the help you need and someone puts an end to that and puts themselves in front of you and your
Yeah,
own health,
yeah.
that's not saying much about how,
No,
how much they
that's
care.
not. That's not.
You.
2 weeks ago, she knew we were broke down. She knew that we needed help. But instead of coming to help us, she went
And got her hair dyed.
and got her hair dyed and got her nails done and everything else. Knowing we were sitting in the parking lot with no jack.
You want to take a second and let her outside, let her go run around or
It's
something?
not that. Daddy's upset.
Oh, she
You
knows.
forget she's going to be a service dog.
Yeah.
She fills them.
She knows
okay.
she's in need right now.
Yeah. She goes to whoever needs her.
She's a good girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, and you guys knew the entire drive. I told you, I said I normally don't do anything like this for anybody unless I know
I know.
I'm taking you somewhere where things are gonna get better,
And it
you're
was.
not
It
gonna
would
be
have.
homeless
It
anymore.
would have.
It would have. It
But
would have
you
been.
can't.
We had everything set there. We had everything set. We were going to get help with housing.
You had the
And
help with housing.
We had help with housing
$30,000 coming.
and everything.
You had the hospital.
And we had the
taking care of
hospital
you.
that was gonna. They were willing to help me.
To be fair, as much as I mean,
Damn.
anybody could sit here and go,
Yeah.
and she just ruined it all. But at the same time, you did allow it to happen, so it's mutual.
Yeah, but
Oh, I
then,
fought him on it. It
then-
did no good.
then I get down there
She didn't even.
and she treats us like shit. Very disrespectful. And
But we're the only ones that helps her.
and the thing about it is she knew that I was gonna be able to get the help up there and
That's why she
everything.
done it. And he lets her do it every
He
time.
did it. I can't let her do it no more. I'm not gonna let her do it no more. And she did it.
She deliberately.
I would say out of spite because she knew that I could get the help.
Okay.
And she
I'm going to say
did.
something right now. She has done told me in the past, until her father is in prison or dead, she will not stop. And he won't listen to me.
No, I've got to know. I can't tell
Me. She
I can't-
will
I
put him in
can't.
his grave.
Because the path you're going right now, if you don't get any help,
I will be in my grave.
you will be
Yeah.
in a tent on the side of the road until it gets in a
Yeah.
freezing winter, and
Yeah, I'm done
you're
for.
done.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
And it sounds like she's
Oh, hell
No,
no.
she's not.
Help.
She's not. She's not going to be there to help.
She-
If I was to tell her that we had call her right now and
told-
tell her that I haven't eaten in a week and we're sitting on the side of the road out of gas, she'd hang up the telephone.
She said, well, I need this, I need that, I don't have the money, I've got this coming out, I got that coming out. You want to know what's funny? The only thing she's got coming out is $180 a week, along with her child support that she has to pay on her kids, which is $150 a month. She's making about $15, $16 an hour.
She's making
You want to know
$16.
what she does with all her money? Here, let me get my nails done. Here, let me get my hair done. Here, let me go buy new clothes.
she takes care of herself.
Yeah, she won't
Oh,
take care.
not Catherine.
She won't help us.
Nothing for her boys since she's lost them.
So she hasn't even taken care of her
so
own
she hasn't even
kids.
taken care of her own kids, and she is
Oh yeah, she's left us down the cold
dry
track.
multiple times.
Yeah.
And you still
Yeah.
help her.
And I can't help her no more.
I've been telling him for years.
Yeah,
He's a piece of crap.
but I can't help it. She destroyed me.
Yep.
She's the reason I'm in the condition that I'm in
It's
now.
because of her.
And it's because of her, because I've checked myself out of the hospitals
Yes.
to go help her, and I can't do that.
There's
So
now.
I'm seeing a
3
trend
kids.
here in that every time that you're getting help or doing better,
She calls us back.
Yeah.
Now you wait and see. The Wednesdays that he's supposed to get his check, she'll be on that phone. Oh, I need.
No.
And you know what I'm gonna do?
What?
How's it feel to need?
I can't help her no more.
I'm done.
I can't.
you're not
I
going to make it
hated-
much longer if you don't help yourself. You got to put yourself.
Yeah, I've got to stop helping her and take care of myself, because if I don't care of myself, I can't take care of Mama.
And I want everybody else to know, every time that I take you guys shopping or we've ever done anything together, you're worried about what he needs and he's worried about what you need. But if I ask either one of you what you need, all you talk about is the other one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A double line.
It's pretty beautiful. You guys-
Or her.
or her. But you know what? I already
takes
kind of
care
got
of
an
her.
idea of what she needs.
All
Yeah.
she needs is a rabies shot.
She needs him.
That's it.
I get everything I do.
You
They
got it.
spoil me rotten.
Yeah.
I
mean,
get
as you
spoiled.
when you come to us this time, she had a leather vest.
It's like,
Leather
it's
jacket.
like,
Peaceful.
I don't yell at her. Well, I yell at her and stuff, because we'll get her dog food and stuff, and she'll have a can of dog food that got venison and buffalo and vegetables and everything, and I'm sitting there telling her, "You're getting duck and everything else." And I'm getting a $1. I'm getting $1 hamburger from McDonald's for dinner, and you get duck and everything else.
Looking at me.
And
You're looking
Yeah.
at me right
Yeah.
now like,
I-
I do. Yeah. So, I mean, and back to living in your car and being homeless, I can't help but I know to people out there, I don't think they truly understand how hard it is and what some of the hardest things are. For you guys, I think we can answer when it comes time to take a shower, truck stops for you, right? Comes time to use the restroom, truck stops most of the time. Okay.
Stops, Walmarts, gas stations.
So
Rest
since you're
areas.
living in a car, that's a lot more than someone that's in a tent or even without a tent on the ground.
Oh, I've
but
been
what is
there and
the
done that
hardest
too.
thing that hardest thing you've ever experienced and the worst thing you've ever seen?
I'm going to let him answer this one because I've actually lived in a tent and under a bridge, so I'm going to let him take this one.
the hardest thing is realizing that I've ended up like this, to be honest. 2 years ago, if you would have told me that I was going to end up like this, I would have laughed at you. And now to realize that what I thought was a joke is now reality scares the shit out of me. Because if I lose that vehicle, I lose everything.
There's no way he could tote it
There's
back.
no way I could make it without it.
He can't
That's
go
my biggest fear, is losing that vehicle.
more trouble than
Then I'm up shit's creek without a paddle.
Well,
Then I have no idea what to do.
we put some new paddles on the
Yeah.
van today.
Yes.
So
Yes,
you
you
got
did,
tires
and I want to
because-
thank you for that.
Of course, and I put tires on it before you guys left here, but you've driven so much that those things were.
I put 100,000 miles.
They're gone anyway. Them tires that you change,
You've
when-
already been through.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've already
That's the
changed
second
it. That's the
set.
second set on.
Wow. But you've almost put 100,000 miles on this.
Yeah.
Since when you dropped us off in February, I've put close to about 100, anywhere between 115 to 125,000 miles on it since you said it's last February.
Wow.
I think that's our problem. Because he was a trucker, we're used to being on the go. We're not really used to being in a home. Yeah,
I don't know
we
what
were with Dad, but that was different. I was taking care of Dad,
Yeah.
you know.
So you guys would be more at home In a
I'm more at home.
with
In
wheels.
an RV,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm more at home out there on the open road
Yes.
than I would be in a house like this.
Yeah. Even though this
If I had a house like this, I would be in it maybe
Once a month?
3 to 4 days a month, and the rest of the time I'd be out traveling.
it would
It
be a
would-
waste for us to get a home. Our ideal retirement was an RV because he could work on them
Yeah.
And we could travel
and we could travel.
and go see everything that I wasn't able to
We
see.
could go see the Grand Canyon and all them places we
Yeah,
wanted to
all
go.
the stuff that you never got to see.
Well, I did get him to the Black Hills.
Yeah, I did get up in there.
Sturgis in August
Yeah.
because I took him. I promised him for years I was going to take him to Sturgis,
Back up
and I
there.
finally got to do it this last year.
So the second part of that question, or second question, what's the worst thing that you've seen since you've been living in your car?
Being looked down by other people, that they don't realize how hard it is, and instead of helping, they just want to turn their head and look down and like, okay, no,
They want us to
that's
get
not
a
really
job.
there.
That's their favorite part line is get a job. Well, Doug's answer to that is give me one. You want
Give me
to know
one that I
what
can
it
do.
is? Grow up. Because they don't know how hard it is to be out there.
Yeah,
They don't know how much it takes to walk out to that corner and
And
hold
ask
that
for
piece of cardboard and ask for help.
yeah.
It's not easy.
No, it's
But
not.
we've got people that throw things at you, not just their mouths, but physical cans,
Wow.
Wow.
bottles.
Have you been hurt with people throwing
Oh.
stuff at you?
Oh, yeah.
My old service dog got hit by a beer can.
The dog did,
The dog did.
and it was full.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
not it. It
the
had,
thing about that is the cop was sent one vehicle behind him, not right behind him, but one vehicle behind him. Well,
So that worked out really
this
well for
cop
him.
happened to love Bubba and bought him 2 T-bone bones every Saturday. Him and his wife did in their regular car. When he seen it, he went off. I have never seen a cop hit a car and cuss at someone like he did.
The
Mentally,
disrespect and the
it
not,
takes
the
you
not.
down. It makes you
Yeah.
feel like you're nothing but crap on spaceship. There's very few
They
people
look down on you like they look down on you.
like they're better.
Yeah.
If they were so much
Things,
better, they would.
the one thing would happen, and they would end up in our shoes, and then they would go, yeah.
Crap.
It's like when
What
I
have I
was
done?
driving truck. I used to always say that for a person to get a regular driver's license, they should have to look at a video of what a truck driver sees
I agree. And I don't have a seat.
before they could get a license, because people do stupid things in front of trucks.
Yeah.
There's
They
a guy
figure-
that has a TikTok, and he just uses his dash cam,
Yeah.
and all it is him talking all this crap on everybody and all the dumb stuff they do, and
Yeah.
he makes videos out of that, and they're so interesting
Oh, yeah.
because you're getting that perspective. And I've never driven a truck, but I've at least hauled, and,
Yeah.
and that's I'm not comparing it totally,
Oh, yeah.
but at the same time,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
people get right in front of you or cut you
Yeah.
off or don't give you space,
Especially if you got a trailer ride, you
Right.
might
Yeah.
as well be in a big truck.
At 35 miles an hour on a perfectly straight, dry road with an empty trailer, truck and trailer empty, weigh about 31,000 pounds. Perfect conditions, dry road, straight.
But
From the time I step on the brake pedal, to the time I come to a dead stop, takes a football field and a half.
wow,
I've been driving for 40 years. I've got 5 million miles out there. I have yet to see perfect conditions,
Yeah.
but I have had to stop them. I can't stop them on a dime, but I could stop them on a quarter. I mean, I've jammed up every brake that I've had. I've done everything I can. I've taken out guardrails and everything else to avoid an accident. I have never had I've never had. I've got 5 million accident-free miles out there.
Wow.
I've had 4 trucks destroyed out from underneath me, but it was not my fault. It was all Mother Nature.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've had tornadoes and everything else. I got the Cheyenne is famous for it. We were here, probably, not sure, 10, 12 years ago. Interstate 80 was shut down for 4 days, going west. And they finally opened it up. And there was a bunch of us at the Flying J truck stop here in Cheyenne.
where you met us.
That we took off. We took off at 5-minute intervals to give room into each other. We got out to what they call the Medicine Bow Range, the flat range going across from here to the Lincoln Rest area. Up there on that flat where the tree is in the middle of the road. And I watched them. I could see them. It was like dominoes. We got hit by a 90-mile-an-hour sideway, and I could watch the trucks being just laid over by the side. And I told myself, I said, this is going to hurt. I cinched up my seat belt, grabbed a hold of the steering wheel the best I could, and boom.
And were you in there?
No,
with them?
No, she wasn't with me.
No, I wasn't with her.
They emptied Cheyenne of every heavy wrecker that they had. They brought heavy wreckers and small cranes out of Denver. They had 53 trucks. We shut down the interstate for another 3 days while they were trying to clean up the mess.
Over.
Trying to clean up the mess and then they shut it down totally then.
Wow.
After that, they shut it down totally.
And I know, I mean, Wyoming is, that's why
Wyoming
when I
is
tell
bad.
people I'm driving across country, and I tell them, the only thing I'm worried about is Wyoming.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? That's not, and I'm like,
So that's
I don't,
the worst one.
Yeah, no, I don't think you
Drive
get it.
Wyoming, drive across Wyoming. And
People don't understand it. They've never been
it's,
there.
Yeah.
Wyoming to the trucking industry, driving from Cheyenne to Evanston, Wyoming, is one of the most dangerous states that there is to drive in. Next to having to go over the infamous Donner Summit. Donner Summit is
And that's right by,
right there by.
Yeah, right by
That's
Reno.
what I'm
You know where
used
Yeah,
that's
to
at.
get into California, you've got to go over Donner Summit and stuff. And there are steeper grades. Black Mountain in North Carolina. It's a 9% downgrade,
In Tennessee.
but it's only for 5 miles.
Oh.
Coming off of Interstate 24, going into Chattanooga, there's a
Called
place
The
they
Rock.
call The Rock. It's a 7% grade, but it's for only 3 miles. Stuff. The one thing about Donner Summit, it's only a 5 or 6% downgrade.
Forever.
It's not the steepness of it. It's
It's a link.
39 miles
and there's a
of
lot of
downgrade
curves.
Yeah.
and a lot of curves.
Yeah.
And it's 39 miles from the time you leave Nyack to the time you hit the Applegate exit. That's 39 miles of downgrade.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It's the longest in the country.
So I have some questions for you guys that are some of my favorite.
Okay.
And I think one of the first ones is, what was going through your head when this guy, me, with a camera on his chest, approaches you flying your sign?
Honestly, I really didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to think. And then something came over me, and I don't know, it was like the good Lord or something, said, okay, you've been needing a break. You've been asking for a break.
Here's your break.
Here's your break.
Eh,
And that's what you've been.
To us, you were like a guardian angel
Yeah, you were the angel that was.
that we had all been praying for. You know. So
Well, and you say that, then all you asked for was Burger King.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he asked me, he says, I'll take wherever you want. He said, whatever you want, wherever you
I'm
take
ready
you
to go to
wherever.
Western Village
wherever.
Steakhouse,
And I
whatever.
said,
ask him
I said-
because I would have said
I said,
steakhouse.
could you get my wife and I a Burger King, a Burger King?
Well, most people
and
when they
everything.
come up, if you ask for something too pricey, they'll just walk away anyway.
That's why now what I do is I ask everyone, what if you had a couple $100? What would you spend it on? So we get an idea. We're looking at a few $100, and even if you ask for $250 or $300, I got you covered. We can make that happen. You know, there's times where I spend more than that. I mean, we got 4 tires on your
Yeah,
car.
for you got car tires on my car.
I
You
don't
got
even
it
know,
closed.
because at that time, when we were working together, preparing to do the trip, you
Yeah.
guys were still living in the car. You had another stroke, and it was
Yeah.
like a 3-week period, and it
Yeah.
was freezing. This was last winter.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how many tanks of gas I got for you guys in that time.
Oh,
period.
at least a dozen. I know of at least a dozen.
And
to
that was
keep
just,
us warm.
I mean,
Yeah.
to help make sure you could run the heater all
Yeah.
night and not
Yeah.
freeze.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it was, pretty much.
yeah.
And
If we would have been frozen if it wouldn't have been for your help.
Yeah.
We never would have made it out of Reno if it
No.
wouldn't have been for your help.
Because believe it or not, Reno, you'll see flyers there, but let me tell you, it's illegal.
Yeah.
We have been chased out quarters in Reno by the cops.
yeah, no, and it's not getting any better. Now, pretty
And it
soon,
won't.
camping's going to be illegal.
And you
If
want
the
to
bill
know
gets
something
passed.
funny about that is legal. A couple of years ago, the cops beat a dude, a homeless dude, pretty much for flying a sign. Well, he went to Supreme Court and got it made to where it is now protected by our First Amendment rights to be able to fly a sign.
But ever city ordinance.
Now we're having the problem of the city ordinances. Or I don't see how a city ordinance could trump, like a government thing, but they
But it
do.
Federal, there's something at a
Yeah,
federal
something
level.
federal.
But it does.
But
I mean,
they
it does.
do.
yeah.
And that's where a lot of them are getting it now. They're making it illegal for the city ordinances.
Well, in the state of Nevada and a lot of states throughout the country have their own laws that are
Yeah.
not legal by
Well, no,
federal
now
law.
it is actually legal to fly a sign anywhere. The problem is your city
They
are
come up
putting
with ordinances
Yeah.
to block it.
and you can't be in the city limits to do it.
So you have to find those outskirts of where it's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, but those, them are truck stops out in the middle of nowhere. There ain't hardly no traffic. So there's going to be no help out of those. It's kind of like once you end up homeless, society doesn't care about you anymore.
I hear that a lot.
You get one of these migrants. Like he says, they look down on you a lot. They don't realize how easy it is to end up there and how hard it is to crawl out. If you don't have an address or a phone number or email, you can't get a job, you can't get a place to live. And if you ain't got a place to live or a job, you can't survive.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
What was funny is when we were on our road trip together, he's had a lot of this, what just happened, and dealing with pain, and it was hard for
It's
him.
gotten worse.
And it's gotten worse. But you and I are coffee drinkers, and we
Oh.
would go out every morning and make sure we had our coffee
Oh,
together.
yes.
And Doug would hang back with her, and so we I mean, all of us had we really bonded and had a true friendship.
We became like family.
And by
Like
the end of
you
that
said.
trip, when we parted ways, it was
I was
really
ready
tough.
to cry.
I mean, you
I was
were.
in it.
I don't
I was
cry.
ready to cry.
I just don't. I don't know what happens.
normally
I get a little
don't.
teary, like my eyes get a little watery, but that's it. That's so if you notice watery eyes on Nate, that's as good as crying for anybody else because that's as far as I can get.
Actually, Nate, you had a tear roll out of your eye that day. I caught it.
So I was pretty sad too. That was not a fun time to watch you guys leave. And also know that you still were living in the car.
We would done have everything if he would quit letting Catherine fucking be right there.
Yeah.
I tried, Nate. I tried before Dad even died to tell him we needed to save money, that this was coming. He did, which is typical. You don't want to think about your dad or mom dying.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through to him. We needed to do something. And he wouldn't do anything then. And now, Catherine, he's let her ruin everything now.
When I offered to haul you guys across country, what were you guys thinking? What were you?
To be honest, I was shocked. I had never met anybody in my life like you, Nate. You are a rarity. You're a gem that, so help me God, if I ever found anybody that tried to hurt you or use you, I'd string them up. Because, like I said, you're like a brother to me.
Yeah.
You're like family. And it's just, people like you don't come along every day, Nate. You're about as real as they get. And when you offered to take us, I'll admit it, we cried. We didn't do it in front of you, no. But when we got away from you in the car, we both cried. And when we watched you drive away, I sat there in tears. It broke my heart to see you leave.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see you guys again, and yet I'm gonna be leaving in a little bit. But again, if you guys get down to Arizona, that'll be a lot easier for me to come down and visit you guys, check in, and also hopefully we can do something and get a GoFundMe going and raise enough funds to at least get you guys something.
And I think it'd be best if you ran it.
Okay.
I know how he is.
And you know how I work too. I don't give out money. So we're gonna get a thing. We're gonna have a goal for a thing, and we're gonna get that thing, and I'm gonna deliver it myself.
You were kind of right on one thing. We really don't need a car. How we get a trike, an old used trike? Because he could work on them too.
Yeah. Well, it just I don't want to create more problems. And if
Well,
you start
no.
hauling,
But see,
it's a
that's
whole
just
nother
it.
thing.
Most RV parks, when you park it, you're not allowed to move it again
Yeah.
until you leave. And that's why you have to have some kind of transportation to go into town to get your food, stuff you need. And you've got to have a car too, because once you park them in the RV parks. But no, we were really shocked. I had never run across anybody that was willing to do something like that, even. And we would have had everything set there had it not been for her coming back in. She went and bought us clothes. She took her on a shopping spree.
That I did make a
Oh.
video of because I thought that was fun.
And I bet the people
Viewers
that
like
watched
that.
it loved it.
Yeah. Well,
She
is
even got some stuff today. But without her, I'd go crazy. When he's in the hospitals, I'd lose it. With my anxieties and my nerves, and I couldn't handle it. I would lose it. And even though they won't let her in because I haven't got it certified yet, which is going to cost me too.
Yeah.
I've got to get her obedience classes first, which is going to cost me too. But that means staying somewhere for at least 6 weeks to get her trained.
At least, yeah.
That's the shortest one I've seen. And them are through PetSmart. And I don't even want to ask the price. I'm scared to ask.
Yeah. Okay, so the second question I had for you, Doug, and Melanie, we already went over it. So I just need your answer. But when I offered to haul you across country, what was going through your head? What did you think?
Actually, I thought you were crazy. I thought you were absolutely nuts just to haul us back over there to where you knew I could get the help there.
And we would
Well, I thought you were crazy, man. I didn't.
I thought you were.
Do you still think that I made the right decision in hauling you guys across country?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, because it needed to be done. I needed to get back there.
Okay.
And stuff. And the doctors back there were fantastic. And I mean, they knew what was going on. They were willing to help me.
At least until Catherine came in the way.
And if it wouldn't have been for my daughter, I wouldn't be in the condition that I'm in. I'll admit it. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be this bad. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think about where
We'd still be in Reno, probably without a car or nothing.
we'd be stuck in Reno. We would have been in a world of hurt more than now I could survive. I mean, I can.
We at
She
least
taught
got
me.
the unemployment.
I've got something coming in once a month and everything else.
I actually taught him how to survive
To
somewhat. Because I've been out here before. This ain't my first rodeo. It's the first time with a car. It made it easier.
On that note, Mel, what's the worst thing you've ever seen before you were living in a car and you were homeless and living outside?
I woke up and jumped. There was 6 of them and 2 of us. There was me and Bubba. And they jumped us, and when they tried to take Bubba's harness off, they ended up getting bit.
And Bubba was your dog.
Bubba Doo was my other service dog, yes.
Yes.
They ended up getting bit because of it. Actually, it was Bubba that saved me because once he bit that one and that one let him go, he could attack the rest of them. People are cruel. And let me tell you, they'll start fires on your tent. They'll cut your tent to go in and steal your stuff and destroy your stuff. And this ain't necessarily people with homes doing this.
It's other homeless.
It's other homeless. They're nearly worse than the people that with homes.
The fact that most people in a home aren't going to go out of their way to a tent to rob it.
Yeah.
They'd probably go to another home if they were gonna, I would think.
Go to some place where you can get something valuable and everything. When you've got somebody living in a tent, they're not going to have anything. They're going to have their clothes on their back, and that's all they're going to have.
Yep.
And they're never going to go report it, and if they do, no one's going to care.
Yeah, nobody's going to care. Yeah, they don't.
Oh, I did report.
I didn't even think about that.
I did report
Yeah.
it.
It goes, well.
By the wayside.
Yeah, by the wayside.
And I hear about homeless stealing from homeless all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the
You
time.
will.
It's endless.
And you know, it's ridiculous because that person they're stealing from, there ain't no telling what all they had to do to get that.
Yeah.
You know. And it's like, you stole it what? To go sell it to buy drugs? When they needed it to stay warm? That's stupid.
Yeah.
Now, I will say there's a lot of people that do things similar to what I do with cameras, filming homeless people, and don't do it the right way, and they're not doing it for the right reasons. But if anybody were to say to me that I'm exploiting people or I'm doing it for the wrong
I
reasons,
tell
Out of everybody that I've met, I've met a couple other people that said they were trying to do what you do, and they're just exploiting people.
Yeah.
They're doing it for their own gain and everything else. You actually
do it
help.
to help people.
You're willing to help people, and you actually do help people.
Yeah.
To where I've met other people that say they help, and they don't. They're in it for the glorification of themselves.
Yeah.
And you're not. You're actually out there to help.
and as long as you guys feel that way, people on the other side of the camera, I'm going to keep doing it. But the moment that they don't feel that way, I need to change, stop, or do something different because I'm not in it for that. And
you're not. That's the one thing that sets you
apart from all the rest of them.
Because you're not out there just for the glory of, I can feel good by helping people and everything else. You're actually out there trying to help people. And you do what you can to help people. And it's not just, okay, here's the one time, I'll never see you again. No, you're willing to. We met you a year ago, almost a year and a half ago, and you've continued to help us out when we're down and out and we're against it, and we have no place to turn, and we've turned to you, and you've been there.
Yeah, it's been, and I'm going to tell you, as far as clothes and food, you could go into any city and every city has food banks. Every city has somewhere where you could get clothes. You want to know the one thing that nobody helps with, Nate? Vehicles. Nobody helps do tires. Nobody helps do oil changes. Nobody helps you with gas.
And you
Them are
are.
the
You
people that
will.
are really hard up. The ones that are living in their vehicles, they can't get no help with that.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, do help
You
with
help.
that.
You help with.
You're
You
one
help.
of the few
You help
guys.
above and beyond.
And
Yeah.
one, to be fair, I'm only one guy and I only have so much money. So I do the best I can. But there are people that I don't necessarily say no to, but when I'm already working with a handful and I'm already loaded up, I can't take on anymore.
When I find a place that I can help you out, but right now,
No. It's not like you just toss them away. You tell them, I can't do it right now. Let me,
And
Yeah.
that's
just
why
take
I
care
got,
of that, and then
I got
maybe
my
I
socks on, and we got all the hats.
Yeah.
And if this stuff, right now it's just socks and hats, but it's gonna grow in a lot more. I got blankets on the way too. Everything's buy
Oh, I
one,
better
get
get one of those.
Of course. And my blankets, the cool thing about mine is I had them resized. They're a special size, so they're almost the same as a twin blanket. So
Yeah.
they're actually long enough to cover your whole
somebody,
body
yeah.
and your feet instead
Yeah.
of those typical blankets you get that
Yeah.
just go to
yeah,
here.
they're right up there. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm trying to make something a little better, and it's all buy one, give one. And if the company grows large enough, now all of a sudden I can help more and more people because
Yeah.
I have
That's
more
awesome.
revenue that I can count on,
Well, yeah,
and I have
because
more I can do.
you actually
I actually want to do something like
you do help
right?
people out.
You know how many people I meet that live outside that I help that say they want to do what I do?
Yeah.
And you know how many people I meet that don't live outside that say they want to do what I do?
And they
Not
don't.
many.
They want it for the glory.
They thank me for doing it, but very few of them say I would love to do that. But the
Yeah.
people that live outside, almost all of them say, I want to do what you do. I want to get back on my feet so I can help more people
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like you
we
do.
said that
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing. We want to
I
do
think
what
that's-
Nate
But I
does.
don't want to help myself. I want to help other people because
Others.
I now
Like
know
you do. How hard it
I
is.
now know what it's like to be homeless and everything, and what people go through when they're homeless, when they're living out there on the street,
How far down they're looked at.
and how they're and
And the
I've
ones
been
that-
there. Now that I've been there and everything else, I will do everything I can to help somebody out, even if I can get them a meal, get them a jack or something.
something.
But there is a balance, and it's just like you've been through with your daughter, and you gotta. I'm not saying you can only take care of yourself, but there's a balance to. I have to make sure I have enough. I will split my meal with you, but I
Yeah.
still need to eat too.
Yeah,
But you can give as much as possible, but you got to make sure you can keep giving. And that's the hard part to balance. And even I screw up. Even I am imbalanced a lot of times. And I don't do much for Nate. I really don't. But that's okay because I'm balancing it
when we
out.
come up with $20 or $30 and stuff, and she said she wants something, I said no. You go ahead and you get yourself something.
What do? I bring out enough for both of us.
Of
Yeah,
course.
and I'll tell her. I said, go ahead, take care of you. I'm okay for a day or so.
I don't
and
need to
stuff.
do it.
And
Nope.
I'll let her. I'd rather her eat, and I can go hungry for a day or so.
God, I will have it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's the one on meds. He's the one that has to eat with his meds. Not me.
But I'm more than willing to give it up. So she's taken care of.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do for the ones we love, right?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. That's true love.
Because
That's
if it
what we
wasn't
do.
for her, I don't even want to think of where I'd be.
Well, and to be fair, she can't really go work because she's got to be out there.
Yeah, she's got to take care of me.
Take care of you
Yeah, and that's
and Cletus. Yeah, and you can't watch Cletus alone. If you have
Yeah.
a problem or you drive around on your own and you have another stroke or something, that's not going to work
Yeah.
well.
Oh, I've done had to pull a car over 3 different times because he's had one behind the wheel on me.
Wow.
Well,
No.
okay, let's. We've been sitting forever, so the last question, I promise. Okay, what is your guys' message to everybody out there the followers, the subscribers, the people that are behind me, that work through me, that support you guys, lots of people that are going to watch us, what would you guys say?
First of all, I'd like to thank the ones that have helped.
Yeah.
They have
Thank
no
you.
idea how much that means.
Yeah.
And Nate is the only person I've ever met in my life that actually sends all of his money back
Yeah.
into someone else and not himself.
Yeah. I mean,
This
we've
is the
been
man
in
to help.
we've been in spots to where I had nowhere else to turn,
Yep.
and I've asked Nate, and Nate's come through.
Oh.
And it was hard to ask, but I had to because I had nowhere else. I had nowhere else to turn,
Matter of
and
fact,
he's always come through.
every tool I own is due to that man
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, I ever told my car. It's because of Nate.
And my
And
jack.
my tires on my car.
My tire.
And everything.
My jack, my,
And I
my
mean,
jacket. I mean, our hoodies came from Nate.
yeah.
I find it kind of amazing because I know, we've been doing this stuff together, but I haven't shared a lot of it. And a lot of people think I don't do anything off camera. And then we're going to have this interview go out there, and people are going to, whoa, wait a minute. There's a lot more.
Yes, there is a lot.
And I just, this is a cool way to share our experiences together. And also, I think I'm going to echo a message that I know you guys are behind, and I feel like you'd want to say it. But I think everybody needs to remember to treat everybody equally. And you don't know their circumstances. And all of us, whether you be 15 dominoes or 2 dominoes away from being in a really bad situation, it could happen overnight.
Yes.
But yeah, it can. In a blink of an eye. Don't think it can't, because it can.
You can't.
Exactly.
Because I've seen it firsthand.
When it
I went
I'm
from
going to wish you had a Nate.
I went from a $23 an hour job
To living in a car.
to living in a car and having to beg for food overnight. I mean, I was bringing home $1,600 a week paychecks,
When we
and
went-
now I'm having to beg for money.
That
to
day,
survive.
that overnight, what was the thing that made it happen?
we lost Dad's house. We lost our home.
I lost our home. When we lost the home,
When
we lost everything.
the home, we lost everything.
Yeah, when you lose your home, I had nowhere else.
And that's when the people show their true colors. And let me tell you, my family and his family showed their true colors. too.
I thought I could depend on my relatives and stuff to say, hey, okay, they're out, Dad's gone, and
Yep.
I haven't. My family has turned their back on me.
There's been one that's been there as a constant, but I mean, he's just barely got a roof over his head too,
Well, Greg,
and that's
yeah,
his cousin Rick.
my cousin Greg, one of the closest
But
stuff. But but it's
I'll turn on him.
Nate. Not only does he say he will help,
He does.
he actually does.
Yep.
And it's not a one-time thing. It's
And he don't have to be right there with us to help.
No.
I mean, he sent stuff to
hey stuff. Yeah, we've been clear
And
across the
auto
country,
parts
and you've
store.
helped us.
and Nate has helped.
Yeah,
Your money is not being just
yeah,
spent on just anything. It's actually being spent to help.
yeah. Because I'm one of the we're some of the recipients of that help. That
I mean,
you
yeah,
folks-
we haven't got ourselves up yet, but that's because we did not get what we expected to on the house, and we did not expect Catherine to come back in and take everything.
Yeah, take care. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, well, again, we're back to mutual responsibilities, like mutual accountability there, as far as that happening, and that's why we're gonna work toward this thing. We're gonna see if we can put something together, and Nate's gonna hand deliver it to you.
Yeah.
yeah.
From that point in time, it's in your name and it's yours, and it's you
Yeah.
have exactly what you need. No one can take that from you.
Yes.
Now, what you do with your monthly income, that is up to you to make sure you spend it on the right stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, we have out so much that we have budgeted out for food, so much for her. We know how much we need to set back for gas, travel, figuring where we're gonna, where we're gonna go next, and everything else, to where I can plan out. Okay, it's gonna take us this far to go. It's like when we were back in Tennessee, and we planned to meet you in here in Cheyenne. I knew the 1,400 mile. I knew it was okay. 1,400 miles up there. We averaged 400, about 375 miles to a tank of gas. Okay, I'm gonna need at least 4 tanks of gas to get up there. And stuff. I knew how much gas I needed to get up here for the mileage.
But as you see, from the time we left Tennessee, planning on meeting you here to getting here, we've already went through the South.
So from here, and this is just me being me, for you guys to get from here to Arizona, how are you going to do it right now?
We're gonna pull out the sign. That's all we gotta do.
That's how I do it. I mean, it's not just gas. You've got to eat. You know, if you run low on motor oil, you got to have oil, her food.
Just like when I used to help you guys every time, we got to end the show with a hug or a handshake.
Oh, you
And I have
know
a
it's a
feeling
hug,
we're-
baby.
Oh yeah.
What's up, Nate? We love you too, bro. And you're just like a brother to me.
Oh yeah, you guys are family.